Hi there! I'm Nadira Jamal, hostess of the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse. Welcome to this special interview series with my fellow instructors at the 2014 Las Vegas Belly Dance Intensive. The LVBDI will be held September 4th through 7th at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. And to learn more about the LVBDI or to register, visit bellydanceintensive.com. My guest today is Lisa Zahiya, who will be teaching a session called I've Got 99 Problems, but a Shimmy Ain't One. Lisa Zahiya is an innovative, award-winning performer, an in-demand instructor, and successful studio owner. Working in the genres of belly dance, Indian dance, including both Bollywood and Bhangra, and hip-hop dance, Lisa travels nationally and internationally teaching and performing. You can check her out at lisazahiya.com, spelled LISAZAHIYA.com. Thanks for joining me, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us about the workshop that you're going to be teaching at the intensive?
Sure. So the workshop is, obviously it's about shimmies, but the goal is to explore shimmy technique and applications of different types of shimmies, and explore all the infinite variations that there are in shimmies. So my goal is to have students walk away from the class with a large vocabulary of shimmies. So when we hit a point in the music and you're like, it's time to shimmy, that you can make a choice, you can have variation, you can travel, you can layer over your shimmy. So the idea is to start with some basic techniques in what I personally consider the quintessential shimmies of a belly dancer, and then we're going to explore those. And for me, every shimmy should be expandable in a way that, like, it should be able to be different sizes. It should be able to it should be layerable, so you can layer things over it. You can layer it over other things such as traveling. It should have variation. So the idea is to present all those options and then have students walk away with a toolkit of shimmies and exercises for at-home practice to master different shimmy techniques.
So it sounds like they're both getting good stuff in the program and then also a great menu of things to keep growing afterwards. Those are my favorite kind of workshops.
Absolutely. I think that's really important to me. So definitely you're going to talk about some take-home application.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think everybody understands that shimmies are an important part of the belly dance vocabulary, but what's the real benefit of having that rich, nuanced set of options?
I think when I think about belly dance technique, I think about vocabulary. So if our job as a dancer is to express the meaning of the music, to express what's happening with the music, my goal is for students, in this case with shimmies, to have a plethora of options to be able to speak differently, to be able to express themselves differently while they dance.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, there are so many spots in Middle Eastern music that really call for that brrr sound. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's very easy to run out of ideas really fast. Like, it calls for a shimmy, and then you stand there and you shimmy.
Absolutely.
And then 16 counts later. Go ahead.
And then you're like, I'm still doing the same shimmy. And I think that what I've noticed as a teacher is that it can be a really frustrating point for students, while, like, in opposition to that, it really is one of the, like, defining movements of a belly dancer. Like, even when I find people who don't know as much about belly dance, they're like, oh, you shake in that particular way, which obviously we try to educate and define the shimmy. But to me, I want people to have a large vocabulary and a lot of choices and a lot of ways to interpret. Just like if you think about the drummer, he or she is going to have a lot of different ways to create that roll or music, or again, like a vibrato on a violin. There's so many different ways that shimmies can be used in Middle Eastern music. My goal is for people to have lots of choices and to feel really confident in them.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've evolved in my tastes is I've, moved definitely towards appreciating simpler dancing with a lot of nuance, and it seems like shimmies are one of the great ways to express that, because there are so many tiny variations that you can make. So instead of doing shimmy and then 17 different movements, you can keep shimmying and still keep saying so much.
Absolutely. And when I think about, especially like those videos or those performances that really stick in my head, a lot of it, and I agree with you, is simple dancing that's just well executed. And to me, well executed is a very clean ability to express. And there are certain people, and they can just shimmy, and I'll be like, I can watch that all day long. Mm-hmm. So, my desire would be for all the students to have the confidence to do that, and to feel confident in any movement, just being able to execute that and not feeling like, we need to put the icing and the sprinkles and the whatever on it, but just, how can my shimmy be a really effective way of expressing myself?
Excellent. And what got you interested in shimmies as a topic to teach?
It's something that I've been complimented on a lot, and it's something that I would definitely, it's one of my favorite movements. I am certainly a technician, and am interested in breaking down movements so that, again, so people have all the choices and different ways of doing things. And I love drum solos, and I love to shimmy. So, I'm really passionate about it, and I'm really passionate about technique. So I'm excited to pass that along in a way that's really fun. And again, so people have something to take home with them.
Mm-hmm. And who would you say that this workshop is appropriate for? Who would get the most out of it?
I would say that it is an all levels workshop, because we're going to build on the techniques so that you can start with a base and then build from there. Anyone who is interested in technique development, and which, hopefully should be all of us. And I would also say, if there's, in particular, if people are working on some more of the percussive aspects of the dance, if you're working on drum solos or building your toolkit around that, it certainly will help in that area.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like that might be a great thing for teachers to take as well.
Sure, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think that I come from a unique background of having some coming from a fair amount of other dance teaching. So I think that I've been told that I have a unique way of breaking things down. So I'd be excited to share that with other people so they could share it with the people that they are teaching.
Gotcha. And is there a little tip from your session that you can share so people can start working on this right now?
Yes, I also have another life as a CrossFit enthusiast. So I would say that part of what makes a good shimmy is strength. So squats and lunges are what I would say, both strength training and then also stretching, so that you make sure you're nice and loose for your shimmies. But definitely, if I do 10 squats and 10 lunges every day, I'm going to walk into that workshop and be ready to go and be able to endure. Somebody has to endure my workshop, but is physically going to be able to execute everything we're going to do in the workshop.
Gotcha. And actually, do you mind if I share a tip of my own around that?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
And I'll tell you, I stole this idea from Dr. Fogg, who runs a site called tinyhabits.com, which is about habit development. Ooh. And so every time I go to the bathroom in a bathroom stall, I do 10 squats. Because it's private, it has an anchor, and it gets it through the day. Depending on how much water you drink, you can do anywhere from 30 to 100 squats a day, and it adds up. So maybe people want a little bit less embarrassing choice, but maybe every time you wash your hands or something.
Or if it's a private bathroom, that I always enjoy it like that as a good practice spot,
In my own bathroom, I do stretches on the side of my bathtub. So it's like a hamstring stretch with a lifted leg.
Perfect. And that, I think, just in general, you could apply that too. Like, I love the idea of a tiny habit. So also, like, shimmy for 2 minutes a day when you're making your coffee or whatever. That also, is a great thing to do. So I love that. Thanks for bringing that up.
My pleasure. And now you mentioned stretching. Are there particular stretches that you recommend for shimmies? I
would say make sure that you're stretching your hip flexors. Because if a lot of people are tight, then you can't get that nice looseness that allows for that sort of infamous jiggle that we're all going for. So one of the ways that I would do that, if you're feeling like you understand stretching and safety, you can do the pigeon stretch, which is something that yoga enthusiasts are going to know. If you don't know what that is, I would certainly look it up or ask someone, because it's a fairly advanced stretch. The other thing you can do is lay on your back and bend one leg at the knee and put the other leg behind the foot so that the one leg is it's a parallel to the body, and then just pull behind the thigh and getting into your hip flexors. And then in addition to that, you're going to feel some stretch in your quadriceps, which is the front of your thigh, and your hamstrings, which is the back of your thigh. And just being loose is really going to help you get the juiciness that you're looking for in a shimmy.
Excellent. I'm going to have to start doing that much more often. Awesome.
It's a good little reminder.
I have to figure out what my anchor is for that habit, so when I do it.
Don't do that in the bathroom.
No, that would be a little bit gross. But maybe first thing before I get out of bed or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So what are you the most excited about for this year's Belly Dance Intensive?
I am excited by the company that I keep as far as other teachers. I was really thrilled to see who else was teaching, and that that she asked me to be part of that. And I'm excited to see everyone dance, a lot of names that I recognize. I am a student of Aziza's, so I'm really excited to see her. And I always enjoy studying with her. So I love learning, and I love studying belly dance. So I'm really excited to see that. I also am excited to go to Vegas because I've only been one other time. So, I was like, ooh, that's exciting. So I would say it's like the ideal situation because I get to learn belly dance in a place that I want to visit. So I think that's one of the reasons everybody should be excited about the intensive.
That is excellent. I think sometime we need to do it in the Caribbean. That would
I'll
be fun.
go. I'll teach. Don't worry. I'll be there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Lisa.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you'd like to learn more from Lisa Zahiya, check her out at lisazahiya.com. Again, that's Lisa, Z as in zebra, AHIYA.com. Or better yet, take her session at the Las Vegas Belly Dance Intensive. You can register at bellydanceintensive.com. For more interviews with our fabulous instructors, visit bellydancegeek.com/Las Vegas.